The police arrived at the scene of the transformed building, determined to uncover the truth behind its sudden disappearance. Their inquiries led them to question witnesses who claimed to have seen a blinding light emanate from the building before it vanished. Unfortunately, the security camera that could have provided evidence was broken and under repair, rendering it useless in confirming what had transpired. The officer in charge approached Luo and the girl who had undergone the transformation. He requested their account of the events that took place. Unknown to him, the building they were searching for stood right in front of him, but the truth remained elusive. Thinking quickly, Luo concocted a story, stating that he was a resident of the apartment and had gone out for some shopping. He happened to pass by the neighborhood just as the building disappeared in a blinding flash of light, leaving him bewildered. He hoped this fabrication would suffice to cover up the reality of their involvement. Inquisitive about the girl's perspective, the policeman turned his attention to her. Acting swiftly, Luo interjected, claiming that she was his younger sister, shocked and traumatized by the sudden and inexplicable occurrence. As requested, they left their identification and contact information with the police, who promised to reach out to them if any further developments arose. Luo led the girl away, his mind filled with uncertainty about what to do next. Worries of being discovered and the strain on his abilities weighed heavily on him. He understood that his power could not be sustained for long this time. Just as Luo grappled with his predicament, the girl broke the silence, recalling a previous incident in which Luo had tried to stop a car thief. She indicated that she knew of his extraordinary power, the ability of his right hand to transform objects into living beings. Now, she found herself trapped in this state due to his power. Luo understood that it had been an accident, and he became determined to find a way to return her to her original form. Reflecting on his mistake of not concealing his hand before going out, he pledged never to repeat such an oversight in the future. The girl, however, seemed to revel in his misfortune, her personality revealing a twisted nature. Amidst the unfolding events, a peculiar individual arrived at the scene of the transformation, proclaiming that it was the work of extraterrestrial beings. According to this person, the building had been enveloped in a brilliant light, only to vanish within a matter of seconds. His words attracted a growing crowd, captivated by the possibility of an otherworldly explanation. Luo observed from the sidelines as more reporters gathered. Reluctant to ask for assistance, Luo found himself in a quandary until the girl reluctantly agreed to cooperate. He explained the urgency of her situation, emphasizing that she could not remain in her transformed state for long. Together, they devised a plan. Luo emerged from his hiding spot, diverting the attention of the onlookers. He pointed upward, exclaiming that he had spotted a white dot flying in the distance, urging the crowd to give chase. Meanwhile, the girl positioned herself where the building once stood, unnoticed amidst the commotion. Fortunately, most of the police officers and curious residents had dispersed, their attention now focused on Luo's purported sighting. Seizing the opportunity, the girl swiftly reverted to her original form, causing astonishment among those who witnessed the reappearance of the building. Relief washed over Luo as he realized she had succeeded in reversing the transformation just in time. Luo strolled along the harbor, his gaze fixed on the enormous ship that had just arrived. He couldn't help but wonder if Zhang Yun had already arrived and if this was indeed the designated meeting place. Earlier, Luo had received an exhilarating phone call, informing him that he had won a grand prize and was invited to a lavish party. The anticipation filled his mind as he clutched his phone in his right hand, its screen still cracked and wrapped in a bandage. Suddenly, a figure approached from behind and playfully covered Luo's eyes, challenging him to guess the identity. With a joyful exclamation, the girl released her hands, revealing herself to be Zhang Yun indeed. Together, they made their way towards the impressive ship, joining the queue of eager passengers waiting to board. "Wow!" Luo exclaimed, taking in the opulence of the cruise. The grandeur overwhelmed him, and he found himself carrying Zhang Yun's luggage, which proved to be incredibly heavy. Struggling under its weight, he asked her to slow down, but she chided him gently, reminding him that it was unbecoming for a gentleman to complain about such matters. As they entered the ship, they discovered a crowd of people gathered around the entrance, unable to proceed any further. It seemed that the ship was undergoing maintenance, and boarding would only be possible the following day. The person in charge, sensing the frustration among the passengers, apologized profusely and assured them that the maintenance work would be completed promptly. Accommodations would be arranged, and everyone was encouraged to rest and explore the cruise's shopping center. Luo and Zhang Yun ventured out to explore the bustling area. They marveled at the myriad of shops and items on display, with Zhang Yun expressing her desire to possess them all. Women on a shopping spree can be quite overwhelming, Luo whispered to himself, amused by her enthusiasm. Later that night, as Zhang Yun lay on the comfortable bed in their room, she expressed her discontent, remarking that she wouldn't have come if she had known about the unexpected delay. Yet, she couldn't deny the luxurious comfort of the bed. Realizing that there was only one bed in the room, Luo hesitated to share it with her, as he was already involved with someone else. Sensing his reservations, she inquired about the girl Luo had mentioned, the one he had transformed into his phone. Curiosity piqued, Zhang Yun requested to see the girl for herself. She wanted Luo to transform his phone so that she could meet her. Complying with her request, Luo transformed the phone, and before them stood Yuzora. Zhang Yun introduced herself to Yuzora as Luo's friend, cementing their connection in this extraordinary circumstance. Zhang's unexpected invitation for Yuzora to sleep in the bed with her left her feeling uncertain. She worriedly asked Luo about his sleeping arrangements, concerned about where he would rest for the night. Luo couldn't help but imagine himself sandwiched between two girls, his mind conjuring playful scenarios. He assured them that he would sleep on the sofa, but Yuzora reminded him that they were not at his big brother's house. Confused, she asked him where they were exactly. Luo revealed that they were on a cruise ship, which unfortunately had been delayed until the next day. As a result, they were only given the cabin for the night. Being above the vast expanse of the sea, Luo asked Yuzora if she wanted to see it. Zhang, showing interest as well, joined in, eager to explore the cruise ship they hadn't fully enjoyed during the day. However, Luo cautioned them that it was already dark outside, making it difficult to see anything clearly, and suggested they should get some rest. Zhang, determined to make the most of their time on the ship, questioned why they couldn't take a stroll, emphasizing that they hadn't finished exploring the vessel. She also wanted to show Yuzora around. Eventually, Luo gave in to their enthusiasm, and they all ventured out together to witness the sea's mystique. It was Yuzora's first time seeing such a vast body of water, and she couldn't help but be mesmerized by the sight. The gentle sea breeze caressed her, filling her with a sense of tranquility. Overwhelmed by the beauty before her, Yuzora expressed her desire for big brother Luo to take her to the sea again in the future. Unable to contain her excitement, she darted toward the other side but accidentally collided with two boys who were making their way in the opposite direction. Realizing her mistake, Yuzora quickly apologized to them. The two boys, reeking of alcohol, were taken aback by the unexpected encounter with a young girl like Yuzora on the cruise ship. One of them even took hold of her hand, remarking on her cuteness. They insisted she join them for a drink, ignoring Zhang's intervention and Luo's attempt to defuse the situation. Seeing an opportunity to pair up with the two girls, the boys brushed off Luo's interference, pushing him aside. Luo found himself on the floor, uncertain if he could overpower the intoxicated duo. Desperate to buy Zhang and Yuzora some time to escape, he scanned the surroundings for something he could use to divert their attention. Just as he spotted a nearby stick, a sudden flash of blinding light burst forth, engulfing the area. A sudden flash of light illuminated the surroundings, and within its brilliance, a lady appeared before Luo. Astonishingly, the object he had been holding had transformed into a girl, leaving everyone in awe. Both boys and the ladies turned their heads, their attention captured by the unexpected arrival. It was at that moment Luo realized that Yuzora was still present, and he pondered how he had unwittingly summoned yet another girl. Zhang, too stunned for words, could only gaze in astonishment. The two boys cautiously approached the lady who had materialized out of thin air, admiring her for her undeniable cuteness. She was dressed in an unusual outfit, leading Luo to wonder if she could be a legendary anime cosplayer. As they neared her, she warned them not to touch her. Turning her attention to Luo, she addressed him as Captain, surprising him with her recognition. She went on to inform Luo that her subordinates had witnessed everything that had transpired, emphasizing that the two boys had shown disrespect and behaved inappropriately toward the girls, even in broad daylight. Requesting permission from Luo, she expressed her desire to take action. The two boys, unable to contain their amusement, burst into laughter, mocking her presence. Luo rose to his feet, his voice filled with authority, and he granted her the permission she sought. "Consider it done," she acknowledged, her voice resolute. Swiftly, she delivered a swift and powerful kick to each of the boys, sending them crashing to the ground. Witnessing her strength, Luo remarked on her formidable power. But before she could proceed further, aiming to finish them off, Luo intervened, urging her to stop. He reminded her that they had already been defeated and were unconscious, emphasizing that taking their lives would be unlawful and unacceptable in their society. Satisfied with Luo's reasoning, she reported to him that the mission had been successfully completed. Grateful for her intervention, Luo and the girls expressed their thanks, their voices filled with genuine appreciation. Just then, the commotion attracted the attention of the crew, prompting Luo and the girls to swiftly devise an escape plan. They quickly made their way back to the safety of their cabin. The two girls, exhausted from the day's events, had already fallen fast asleep. Luo, deep in thought, reclined on the sofa, pondering the peculiarities of his superpower. He wondered why it had triggered twice in a single day when it was meant to activate only once, specifically past midnight. As he contemplated this mysterious phenomenon, Luo found himself sitting next to the sailor babe who had come to their aid. Feeling Luo's gaze upon her, she asked him to stop staring. Sensing his confusion, she inquired if he had any instructions for her. Luo scratched his head, pondering her question, but eventually replied, "No." Early in the morning, Luo awoke to find himself still sitting upright, having unintentionally fallen asleep. The sailor girl had reverted back to her original form, indicating that Yuzora must have also returned to normal. Luo scanned the room and spotted his phone, confirming that Yuzora had indeed changed back. Zhang was still sound asleep, so Luo decided to freshen up. As Luo washed up, he noticed that the cruise ship was already in motion. The automated system greeted the passengers and thanked them for choosing the cruise. It announced that their destination was Japan. Surprised by this revelation, Luo turned to Zhang, who informed him that they would only have a brief stay in Japan, with the majority of their time being spent on the cruise itself. This realization prompted Luo to start thinking about how he could acquire more comics and figurines during their journey, lost in his own thoughts. Returning to their room, Zhang requested that Luo transform Yuzora back to her original form since she was his girlfriend. Zhang quickly approached Yuzora and invited her to enjoy the various services available on the cruise. They set off together to explore and indulge in different activities and culinary delights. As Luo wandered around, he found himself near the table where the two troublesome guys from earlier had been sitting. It then dawned on him that they were not in their rooms when the crew had knocked on their doors that morning. The two guys approached Luo, offering their apologies and begging him not to be angry with them. However, Luo sternly warned them against drinking excessively or causing trouble in the future. The two guys, still slightly groggy from their earlier alcohol-induced haze, struggled to remember what had transpired. Luo kindly suggested that they refrain from consuming excessive amounts of alcohol in the future, as it had clearly led to their memory lapse and unruly behavior. As the ship arrived in Okinawa, the computerized system welcomed everyone to their destination. She informed him that they would be staying in Okinawa for 2 days and 1 night, with tonight's accommodation being a hot spring hotel showcasing local characteristics. Luo couldn't believe his luck. He had finally arrived at his dream location and would be spending the night in a hot spring hotel. They disembarked from the ship and made their way towards the Okinawa hotel. Zhang asked Luo to take a photo of her, and in return, Luo captured a video of the various peculiar fishes he encountered in a nearby river. Eventually, they arrived at the hotel, and Luo was awestruck by everything he saw inside. He couldn't resist the urge to touch and explore the unique decor and furnishings. However, his excitement was interrupted when he realized that he would be sharing the same room with Zhang, implying that they would be sleeping together. Feeling uncomfortable with the idea, Luo expressed his disbelief, stating that it was impossible for them to share a bed. Nevertheless, they were soon presented with a delicious meal, and Luo expressed his gratitude to Zhang for fulfilling his lifelong dream. After finishing their meal, they decided to experience the renowned hot spring that the hotel had to offer. Zhang asked Luo to transform Yuzora back to her original form as she intended to bring her along to the female bath. Upon hearing this, Luo accidentally spit out the food he had in his mouth. Zhang reassured him that she would take care of Yuzora and that there was no need for him to worry. Zhang and Yuzora changed into their bathing attire, while Luo parted ways with them. When they arrived at the hot spring, they found it completely empty, as if they had booked the entire place for themselves. The moment they stepped into the hot spring, they felt a profound sense of comfort. Yuzora mentioned that she felt hot, and Zhang explained that it was normal to feel that way initially, but after soaking for some time, she would start to feel incredibly relaxed. However, Zhang warned her not to soak in the hot spring for too long, as she might end up passing out. Luo and Zhang found themselves on an airplane, with Zhang providing instructions to Luo on how to adjust his seat. As it was his first time flying, Luo was unsure of what to do. Zhang directed him to press the button on the armrest to adjust the seat, and informed him about the trash bag in the seat pocket for rubbish disposal. She pointed out the reading light switch, call button, and explained that he could adjust the air conditioning as well. Luo was fascinated by all these features. Being afraid of heights, Luo held onto Zhang tightly for support. They had been traveling for several days now, and Luo couldn't help but worry about Mimi. He felt that it would take too long to return home via the cruise. Gripping Zhang even tighter, she exclaimed, asking Luo to stop holding her so tightly. Zhang suggested that if he was really scared, he should try to sleep during the flight. She promised to wake him up when they landed. Suddenly, Zhang woke Luo up, informing him that there was a problem with the airplane. Panic spread among the passengers, but the flight attendants reassured everyone and instructed them to retrieve the life jackets from under their seats. Both Luo and Zhang were uncertain about what to do next. Zhang expressed her fear of dying, and Luo reassured her that he would find a way to save her. In an instant, Luo removed the bandage from his right hand and touched the airplane. Miraculously, the airplane transformed into a babe, causing everyone on board to lose their balance, including Luo. As he fell, he screamed in terror. Suddenly, he woke up from his nightmare. Zhang asked if he was okay. Luo apologized to everyone for shouting and causing a disturbance. They landed safely, and Luo expressed his gratitude to Zhang for inviting him and Yuzora on this trip, stating that he had a wonderful time. Zhang promised to invite them out again in the future. Luo inquired about Zhang's transportation home and offered to share a cab with her. However, she informed him that her father would be coming to pick her up. Just then, her father arrived, and she bid farewell to Luo. Now back at home, Luo called out for Mimi, his little cat, wondering if she had missed him. As he surveyed the messy house, he called out for Mimi once again. Luo was sound asleep when his phone suddenly rang, disrupting his slumber. Reluctant to get up, he groggily reached for his phone to see who was calling. It was Zhang Yun on the other end. Despite the early hour, she insisted that it was no longer too early, as it was already 9 a.m. During their recent trip to Japan, Zhang had bought a gift for Luo and sent it via courier. She called him to inform him about it. Grateful for the thoughtful gesture, Luo expressed his thanks to Zhang. Their conversation was brief as she had other matters to attend to. After they ended the call, Luo heard the doorbell ring. It was a representative from Headwind Express, delivering the gift. Excitement coursed through him as he eagerly unwrapped it. Inside, he found a summer limited edition figure of Mizuki Tsukihime from the series, My Maid is So Cute, a figurine he had long desired to have. To his delight, the gift also included interchangeable maid swimsuits, exclusive to the limited edition figure. Overwhelmed with joy, Luo couldn't contain his happiness as he profusely thanked Zhang Yun. He regarded her as an angel sent from heaven, a guiding light in his life, and wished her all the best in her future endeavors. Taking the figure out of the box, he began examining its intricate details. However, as he was inspecting it, something extraordinary happened. The figurine transformed into a living, breathing human before his eyes. Shocked and bewildered, Luo couldn't help but shout in astonishment. It became apparent that the bandage had been cut while he was unpacking the box, triggering his superpower and bringing the figurine to life. In an attempt to regain his composure, Luo realized that the newly transformed figure referred to him as Master. The unexpected address overwhelmed him with emotion, as he had never imagined being called Master by a maid in his lifetime. Determined to preserve the connection to the figure's original form, he decided to continue calling her Tsukihime. Tsukihime, now in human form, asked Luo if there was anything he wanted her to do, such as laundry or cleaning. Noticing the messy state of the room since Luo hadn't tidied up before leaving on the cruise with Zhang Yun, she expressed her commitment to ensuring a comfortable living environment for her master. With determination, she vowed to fulfill all the duties of a competent maid, dedicated to making her master's life as comfortable as possible. The entire room sparkled with cleanliness, and Luo couldn't help but express his gratitude to Tsukihime for her impeccable work. "Thank you, Tsukihime, for making everything so sparkling clean," he said. In response, Tsukihime replied, "You're welcome, Master. As long as you are satisfied, this is what I should do." Not only was she cute, but her housekeeping skills were also flawless. Luo made up his mind to summon Tsukihime to help him with the housework every month. He secretly planned to save the money his mother gave him for hiring a cleaner and instead use it to purchase more figurines. The thought of having a collection of maid figurines serving him excited him, imagining a trio of ladies attending to his needs. Tsukihime was pleased to see that her master was pleased with her work. Just then, Luo's hunger caught up with him. Tsukihime reassured him, saying that she would prepare food for him. Surprised, Luo asked if she was skilled in cooking as well, to which she replied affirmatively. Luo hadn't expected Tsukihime to be a capable cook. He eagerly anticipated the delicious meal that awaited him. He wondered what kind of food she would make. Shortly after, she returned and asked him to wait a little longer as the food was still being prepared. Curiosity got the better of her, and she asked Luo why the refrigerator only contained beverages and no food. After searching the cabinets, she found only snacks and a few packs of instant noodles. Luo sheepishly admitted that he usually didn't cook much, flashing a smile. Tsukihime decided to go out and buy some ingredients to cook a proper meal. However, before she could leave, Luo stopped her, suggesting that she make instant noodles with added eggs instead. Concerned about her safety, he told her that it was too dangerous for her to go out dressed as a maid. He assured her that he would buy the ingredients next time. Relenting, Tsukihime agreed, acknowledging that it was her master's decision. Luo waited eagerly for the noodles to be ready. Suddenly, he rushed to the kitchen upon hearing a noise, only to find Tsukihime on the floor, clutching her burnt finger in pain. Worried, Luo instructed her to flush her finger with water to alleviate the pain. Luo finished his meal, thoroughly enjoying the delicious food prepared by Tsukihime. He expressed his gratitude for her exceptional hospitality, to which she humbly replied, "Master, your satisfaction is the greatest affirmation for me." Tsukihime's unwavering devotion to her master shone through as she declared her willingness to go to any lengths for him. Feeling a bit drowsy after eating, Luo experienced the common phenomenon of decreased blood supply to the brain, making him feel sleepy. Sensing his need for rest, Tsukihime immediately began arranging everything for him to take a nap. He found himself comfortably resting his head on her lap, although he couldn't help but question why he was using her lap as a pillow. Eventually, Luo decided to sit up, realizing that it won't be appropriate to continue resting on Tsukihime's lap for an afternoon nap. However, Tsukihime insisted that he lay back down, promising to read him a bedtime story. Intrigued, Luo obliged, and Tsukihime began recounting the story of how Luo acquired his superpower. As the story unfolded, the soothing rhythm of her voice gradually lulled both Luo and Mimi into a peaceful slumber. Suddenly, an unexpected disturbance jolted Luo from his sleep. He realized that he hadn't wrapped his right hand with the bandage, which meant that another transformation had occurred. His eyes widened as he took in the presence of a new individual who had appeared while he was fast asleep. The woman raised her finger, summoning water, and then snapped her fingers, causing the water to drop onto Luo and Mimi. In surprise, Luo exclaimed, demanding to know who she was and if he had inadvertently transformed something once again. The woman reassured Luo not to look around, stating that she was not something he had transformed. Her introduction left Luo astounded as she revealed herself to be Goddess Alice. Luo repeated her name once again, trying to grasp the memory of their previous encounter.